Magical.
I think the word is connection, in the sense that it brought us together with our own assumptions about China.
Incredible, transformative.
The feeling I had the entire time we were there was what a powerful experience this was.
It was so comfortable and so easy that it really broke through a lot of maybe prejudices, but maybe more clear, just sort of misinformation about what China really was.
The interactions with the Chinese people, the interactions between our students, all relating around music.
It was really life-changing. There's nothing like the somewhat daunting task of moving 100 people halfway across the world for 24 days and back again, including all their instruments and luggage. So there were just many, many details planned out over a year.
We wanted to feature the Michigan composers because one of the many strengths of our schools is the quality of the composition department, and the relationship between the symphony band and the composition department is very strong. So it was easy to work toward being represented by the 4 composers on the faculty and having them write new works.
And I got involved with the tour in part because I was studying 50 years ago, we did a tour of Russia and the Middle East, where the symphony band under William D. Ravelli went for 15 weeks on a cultural exchange tour sponsored by the State Department. And so in being in contact with the alumni from that band and seeing just the profound influence that international tour had on their perspective, on their understandings.
And then the other thing was balance. Balance for the audience, balance for the students, mixing new things with very old things. And sifting through all that was a process that took me 9 months.
To obtain visas, we had to obtain permission from the Chinese government to be there. We had to obtain permission to perform the repertoire we wanted. All those things had to be planned out meticulously before we left.
My favorite moment, I think, had to do with students. And we were visiting the very first university on our tour in Hanju. And I had just given a talk, and Lester Mons had given a talk. And there was sort of a gap between when we were departing and that moment, and the students just started talking to each other, the Chinese students and the students from the symphony band, and there was just the din in the room, just sort of exploded. My favorite memory of China, I think of all things, was riding on the city wall in Xi'an, just riding a bicycle with my colleagues. I'm not sure why it was so much fun, but it really was. It was quite exhilarating.
I think another really strong memory for me is when we went to Hanban a couple days before we left to thank our host there. And the man who spoke on behalf of Hanban spoke eloquently about the fact that we are people, not governments, and that no matter what our governments say or do, the key to trust and understanding is person-to-person communication.
Well, for me, the legacy of the tour, because I was so involved with the logistics, is the relationships that were kind of evoked and created throughout the process of putting the tour together. I couldn't have done it myself sitting in an office. It really took quite a large effort on the behalf of the university, on friends and partners in China, who made it a very special, personal experience for a large group of people.
I hope the students have layers of memories. One is what they learned about themselves as musicians, and what it's like to play in a different hall 11 times in 24 days and deliver your very best goods, no matter how hot it is, how hungry you are, or how you feel after all the travel. I think that is a lesson that prepares them for the rest of their professional life that goes beyond the classroom. We talk about life lessons at universities, and I think that was a real professional life lesson.
One of the things I hope that I think all of us remember is the power of music to forge relationships, to create friendships, and to provide a kind of meaning to our lives as human beings that goes beyond the everyday, goes beyond sort of the latest buzz on Twitter, to just awaken our humanity. Whether even we remember the specific moments when the applause just built over and over the course of a concert, and the sort of the sense of friendship and connection built over the two halves of a performance into this sort of the ecstatic applause of the encore sets we did. I just hope we realize and internalize the power of music to bring meaning to our lives.